Hello and welcome. Welcome to my work. I'm author Grace Wroldson. I'm the author of several books, including How to Fight a Narcissist in Family Court and Win, Super Smart Strategies for Success. Here is the welcome chapter of this book. Welcome to Strategizing for Success. You can learn so much from losing. A journal entry. In my first book, Co-Parenting with a Narcissist, 7 Self-Rules to Stay Sane, I wanted to share my story of injustice while also working to heal myself and give my readers validation and insight. I was a woman on the front lines of an arduous family court battle. These words are a warning to others of the nightmare of a failed U.S. family court system. My goal was to let other parents know that they are not alone. My goal was to let other parents who have felt defeated, wounded, or lost because of a litigious narcissistic ex and a broken family court system know that things can turn around for the better, and we can stage a comeback. As the funny but not so funny saying goes, although you may have left the narcissist, he or she and his problems are still in the parking lot doing hundreds of push-ups. If you want to work smarter and not harder to get through and pass this difficult time, read on. In this new book, How to Fight a Narcissist in Family Court and Win, Super Smart Strategies for Success, I give readers real solutions in the form of strategies, super smart strategies, that is, as well as 2 other necessary ingredients. 1, emotional support, and 2, encouragement. This is my story of survival using strategies. Although I took many quote-unquote beatings in family court, I was able to turn my woe into wisdom, which I am passing on to you. Unlike the narcissist, I was able to learn valuable lessons from each of my mistakes and also from the narcissist's nasty tricks. To my benefit, I was able to change course, be flexible, adopt new logic, evolve, grow, put things into perspective, do the right thing, even if it's harder, change. And so this became my advantage over time. I don't have or offer you a solution to narcissism because unfortunately, I don't think there is one. What I do have are solutions for you to tweak your mindset. I haven't found a simple, quick, or permanent fix for dealing with the painfully slow, complex family court while raising a child, but I have found skillful means, which you will find in my last book, How to Survive a Custody Battle with a Narcissist. Children take time to grow, and so do we as parents. Remember, we never stop being parents, so we are in it for the long haul because we love our kids. Super smart strategy: shift your mindset to that of being in it for the long haul. Serious legal matters. The only legal advice that I give is get legal advice. Even if you can't afford a lawyer, you can get legal consultations. Call around. I got 3 very different perspectives from 3 lawyers who I consulted with on my case. Some of these consultations were free. I sought out many free consultations and paid for some as well. When I felt hopeless about ever affording legal fees, I didn't give up looking for a lawyer who would take on such a headache. My case was ongoing, so finding the right lawyer was a top priority. With my only solution to stay under the microscope of the family court, I had to hang in there with the only attorney I could afford for many years. Even if he wasn't a family court expert, he believed that taking a defensive strategy, sitting back, allowing my ex to file against me, drawing out the process, and letting him pay massive legal fees to his expensive attorney was the best way to go. However, this meant witnessing many instances when we chose not to file contempt on my ex, and this allowed my ex to get away with many, many things. Sadly, some of my ex's cheap shots and low blows in family court landed. My compassionate attorney and I agreed to use the potential contempts at the trial to show that I wasn't the high conflict parent. Unfortunately, this strategy didn't work as well as we had planned. After a massive loss at trial, I had to resurrect myself and stage a comeback. You'll see that in my first book, Co-Parenting with a Narcissist. That's chapter 8. I did that using knowledge from the experts on narcissism and assessing the family courts myself. I began developing and using these super smart strategies to get me through it all. Super smart strategy: seek expert support. Whether you're just starting in family court or have been entrenched in the process, this book will help hold your hand through it while giving you ways to cope and, most importantly, a winning mindset to adopt. Don't underestimate the value of emotional support. You will need it for yourself and your children. The entire process and antics of the narcissist are draining, tiresome, aggravating, appalling, and cruel. The family court can be an emotional roller coaster. For me, having experts, friends, and family who get it, and therapists and domestic violence counselors to help me buckle my seatbelt was the difference between sleeping at night or not, in many cases. Super smart strategy: provide yourself emotional support. I was at a clear financial disadvantage against the narcissist in my case. Lucky for him and unlucky for me, he had parents that did not just enable him, but support him as well. He had a family business to fall back on with a brother as a coworker, a mom as a boss, a dad as a supervisor, and an open door policy to live with his parents through it all. With that type of enabling support, he was well equipped to do as much damage to me as possible. I had nowhere near the ability to hide money or live with my parents, work for them, or get affidavits from them. I was a single low-income mom and not close with my parents. I was living in subsidized housing and on transitional assistance for years. This meant that I had to get help from other sources. I became very resourceful to survive the onslaught of family court. I call this legal abuse now. Writing my story was a way to heal, purge the anger, and find a meaningful purpose for all the horrible things that were happening with my case. I had to use everything and anything to survive. I went from writing affirmations to paying for private life coaching sessions to going to local churches and attending support groups. I sought out anything I could find to help keep me upright and uplifted. The whole experience was so depressing that I needed a team to lift me up. I encourage you to find your blend of resources to make it through. I read over 20 to 50 books on the topic and watched hundreds of YouTube videos for 2 straight years trying to figure out the narcissist. There are many resources located in the back of this book, but I highly recommend that you try whatever will work for you to find your magic combination of support to keep you strong. Super smart strategy: stay spiritually uplifted and inspired. As much as I had to learn to fight and how to fight, I also had to learn just to stand. I didn't want to be part of the problem nor add to it. I wanted to be part of the solution. Sometimes I had to purposely use language to disarm the narcissist and not engage with him. Sometimes I had to allow him to do what he was doing as a way to let him expose himself. Other times I had to be courageous and file motions to expose him, which took tremendous bravery because pushing his buttons would easily enrage him. In these cases, I had to mentally prepare for the backlash and be vigilant because our child was in harm's way. Thanks to multiple court interventions, he lost his ability to access me for his pathological need for supply. The path to freedom and justice was a pure zigzag experience in my case. Super smart strategy: disarm the narcissist if possible. Disarm the narcissist. I knew that the narcissist viewed me as the quote-unquote enemy to defeat, so I made sure I wouldn't push him over the edge into nuclear war. I repeat, I wanted to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. So unless I needed to text him, or I needed a text from him showing how he would get into a massive rage explosion over being confronted, I didn't get on the battlefield with him. I used anything he sent my way as a court trial exhibit through my documentation strategy. I essentially stayed in a mental conference room of national/personal defense, a safety, neutral, and passive zone. The reason for disarming the narcissist was so that there would be less conflict and our child would stay in a neutral zone. I was well aware that aggravating the narcissist would and could make things worse for her during his parenting time, which I feel should have been a court priority, our child's safety. Super smart strategy: don't make a bad situation worse. The narcissist was so good at self-sabotage that I knew he would eventually accomplish it. Over the course of our relationship, I saw that he was perfectly capable of ruining many things. He would overspend, he would be chronically distracted, inflexible, pig-headed, hard-headed, and arrogant. He would cheat, lie, fail to appreciate, sell off good assets, walk away from responsibility, complain, argue, criticize loved ones, and self-isolate, all while being easily bored. Mostly, he did all of this in the shadows and put on a good face for others to see. He was manipulative in how he hid his side of himself from others with his quote-unquote good face and caring personality for them. Behind this mask, his mask, and in the shadows, he was an ugly and degrading person full of distrust and paranoia, basically a walking mess. His parents enabled him. His attorney coddled him and encouraged him. But I had to pull him into the light of the family court to show a judge that his actions didn't match his words. This was the revelation the judge needed to have, because my former attorney didn't think we should attack too heavily at my first trial. Just in case our daughter was put in a foster home due to the allegations my ex launched on me. I lost many of my rights. I discovered that this strategy wasn't working. The only next course of action was to show a judge that the narcissist doesn't want to follow or respect anyone's rules or the court order. I had to change how I played the game. Super smart strategy: systematically expose the narcissist or let him or her do it to themselves. Super smart strategy: stop trying to make the narcissist do the right thing. Just show the judge that he doesn't through your documentation. I urge you to start developing and writing down your own winning strategies. These custody cases are so complex and often very unique, even if they're eerily similar. There are so many details that need to be considered when making a parenting schedule that it's never a one-size-fits-all final court agreement. Please highlight, underline, and write in the margins of this book as you go. If something strikes you as useful, write it in a Post-it note, bathroom mirror, your screensaver. Don't let useful wisdom slip away. My words may give you ideas about what you're going through and how to make a bad situation better for both you and your child or children. Super smart strategy: don't go through this, grow through this. Suffering produces things like perseverance and resilience. While some people believe there's a reason for everything that happens, my perspective is that good can come out of anything bad. No mud, no lotus flower is what the Zen Buddhists say. The key to my happiness through all of this was using the bad to push me to do good works. I was given a heart for justice as I endured injustice. I learned that I had to look at my part that I was playing in this nightmare and do my part better and differently. I considered myself a peaceful person who always compromised for the benefit of all concerned and was always open to negotiate. For many years, I refused to accept that I was in a war because I didn't want it to be so. However, I discovered that I could only have peace on the other side of the war with this type of individual that I was dealing with. This meant I had to stop projecting my good qualities onto him and my good nature onto my opponent, because that was how he saw me, as his opponent. To be more effective in my court case, I had to accept him for who he was, a fighter. This required me to step up and learn to fight as well and shield myself. Being like a turtle and always pulling my head in only lasted so long. Building a tougher outer shell was something that I needed to do while I organized my chess pieces and put things into place. I needed a strategic plan because I couldn't keep going into family court practically defenseless, wishing and hoping for the best. I had to say that the difficulty of it all certainly built my character. I began to see how the narcissist would go for the easiest, laziest, and quickest win without thinking about long-term consequences. His weakness, this weakness in his game, became my advantage. By embracing the dysfunctional family court system, I backed the narcissist into a corner. Over the lengthy course of the court proceedings, I grew smarter and savvier. I stood firm and saw everything through. You can read about this in my process in my first book. I detailed what I endured and the foundations of my strategies from the years of experience. If you have made mistakes as I did, remember that what matters is that you're learning. Super smart strategy, learn the lessons. How to use this book. Perhaps you pick up a strategy and try it on. Use it for a week. Post it where it will remind you to use it. Have it somewhere visible so it will help you to be conscious of what you're doing. Remember that at any given point, you can only do the best that you can do. Some days you will not have the energy. Some days you will. You cannot possibly expect yourself to be perfect when dealing with this mess, and there's no such thing as a perfect parent. I recommend adopting a stay with it strategy, even if at times you need to rest, reflect, restore, and retreat. Remember, sometimes resting is a strategy. Actually, sometimes resting is your best and only strategy. May you find the strategies that works for you with whatever you and your children are up against. Super smart strategy. Remember that you're doing the best that you can. Thank you for listening. That was the welcome in my first book, in my second book, How to Fight a Narcissist in Family Court and Win. I have a lot of mom tips available on my YouTube channel and my private Facebook groups. If you aren't documenting, you will want to document strategically what matters in your case, what will matter to the judge. Don't drive yourself crazy trying to document everything. You may need to work with a coach to know what it is, or you might need to just ask your lawyer what it is you need to document in your case and how you need to document your case. And you want to ask a family law lawyer that works in your court district under your judge. Sometimes we lose, but we can learn from losing. And I certainly did. I went on to use skillful means. I learned an offensive strategy and didn't just play defense. And that you can find in my fourth book for moms. So I have a lot of strategies that I used. You can check out my blogs for a list of the strategies. I had a non-legal strategy and a legal strategy because not everything can be solved in family court. I had to work with my mindset, and I hope you're working with yours, because when you work on your side of the street and clean it up, this will better the situation for you both. But you can't control what's happening on the other side. So I encourage you to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm reading this book piece by piece. It will be available on Audible soon. My first book is available on Audible. So I'm going to just show you my books in order. Number 1 is Co-Parenting with a Narcissist, 7 Self-Rules to Stay Sane. Number 2 is How to Fight a Narcissist in Family Court and Win. Number 3 is Co-Parenting with a Sociopath, Survival and Sanity Guide. Hi, I'm author Grace Wroldson. I'm a mother, survivor, life coach, and a thriver. We made it through 12 years of a family court battle. And if you're ready to learn, I'm ready to teach my skillful means, which is found mostly in my latest book, How to Survive a Custody Battle with a Narcissist. So please know that you're not alone. You can use my gray wall method, not just the gray rock method, and you can use skillful means to try to create peace. You got to know who to fight and who should be fighting for you, and how not to go toe-to-toe with the narcissist. That's something I don't recommend. So I have phrases that can neutralize the narcissist. Remember, you're working on disarming. I have how to communicate using skillful means. These are blogs on my website. I have 5 factors that can make the co-parenting abuse stop if you're experiencing post-separation abuse. Legal abuse. I have a Get the Right Lawyer guide, which is just an instant PDF with 3 20-question worksheets to interview potential attorneys, stay on track, stay on target, get your burning legal questions answered from a lawyer. And I have 20 legal strategies. We had to change up strategies. I had to hold on to strategies. Like you read in the first part, strategies are the solution. And we need to implement them, employ them at different times, and know what it is we're doing and hold on to them. The narcissist has tricks, tactics, traps, manipulations, and we are going to have strategy, skills, self-rules. We have the ability to learn, adapt, and change. And this is a video course of 11 videos to get solutions for your sanity. I'm going to talk you down from the heightened drama the narcissist creates and your fears for your children. And that way you can learn, heal, and grow through this, come out smarter and stronger than before. That link to buy that video course will be in the description box below. You can jump over to any of my women's wisdoms group or groups for moms. I post in there weekly and offer free videos. Soon I will be offering some Zoom support groups, but you can come to my website for free blogs that have tools and resources for you to read, educate, because knowledge is power. These are the blogs under the Co-Parenting with a Narcissist tab. You can read. Some of them are totally free. Some of them are small paid digital products. So learn, heal, and grow. Pick up any of my books on Amazon to hold on to. Get grounded in your sanity, common sense, and logic. Don't be thrown off into craziness from the narcissist crazy making. Remember, I tell all moms, the number one trick that they do is try to emotionally destabilize us. And we usually play just a defensive game and we don't have leverage or offense. And that takes a while to learn and understand. So if you need one-on-one coaching, I am available on a limited basis. So find that on my website. Thank you so much for watching. And remember to stay happy.